In tonight's special report, Losing Sight. Millions of Americans have laser eye surgery every year. It's considered a safe and relatively painless operation. But tonight, our Unit 5 investigative team exposes black box lasers. Lasers that are being used on patients even though the government says they're not supposed to be. Unit 5's Dave Savini is here with more. Dave?
Warner, the dream of perfect vision, no more glasses or contact lenses, was made real with the creation of safe, government-approved lasers. But how closely are regulators inspecting the lasers used on patients? Are they doing enough to make sure only clinically tested and approved lasers are ending up in operating rooms? Lasers used to surgically correct vision are amazingly precise. They have to be.
It was a living nightmare for about 4 years.
Lasers are carefully tested in clinical trials for safety and effectiveness. Only those lasers approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration can be used. And why is it so important that there be such a process?
To protect the consumer.
But how closely are doctors' offices being monitored to ensure only FDA-approved lasers are being used? Ron Bongiovanni says not closely enough.
That operation has left my cornea so scarred there wasn't saving it.
Bongiovanni says he decided to undergo laser eye surgery in 1997. His first surgery left him with some blurred vision and some minor pain. So he switched doctors and went to world-renowned eye surgeon Dr. Nicholas Caro, seen here on his website. Bongiovanni says Dr. Caro told him he had a special laser.
And he bragged about having only one of 4 or 5 in the country, and that's why he could help me in every way, shape, and form.
He believes Dr. Caro used an unapproved laser, or what FDA investigators call a black box laser.
Because of this surgery has caused me to get a cornea transplant.
The FDA considers black box lasers a serious public health problem. Bongiovanni filed a lawsuit against Dr. Caro. Bob Clifford is his attorney.
You can't defend using a piece of equipment that is experimental and hasn't been approved by our FDA.
In a statement to Unit 5, Dr. Caro declined comment on Bongiovanni's case because of the litigation. But he did say, at one time I did use a custom laser, which I had been advised by counsel was exempt from FDA pre-market approval requirements. He goes on to say that particular laser was superior to any other lasers which were then in use and approved by the FDA. And he says it had additional safety features and was proven to provide a superior product to my patients. And Dr. Caro says the use of his custom laser was not a violation of any law or professional standard or guideline. Unit 5 has learned the FDA doesn't track the number of unapproved or black box lasers doctors may be using. That's because they say it's not their job to inspect doctors' offices for unapproved medical equipment unless they receive a complaint. And even if they do find a doctor using a black box laser, they say all they can do is take the laser away. The FDA doesn't have the power to discipline doctors.
I called the FDA.
Jim Valetti believes Dr. Caro used an unapproved laser on him in 1996, and he says he's needed several corrective surgeries to fix the damage.
If I see a letter, it'll be superimposed on the top and the bottom, so it becomes a big jumble.
He called the FDA to file a complaint and to find out if anyone was monitoring these lasers.
If I could stop 3 or 4 people or more from going through what I went through, that'd make me feel good.
At the time he filed his complaint, the FDA was already investigating the use of unapproved or black box lasers. Soon after, in 1997, the FDA seized lasers in Georgia, Florida, and the FDA took this one from Dr. Caro's office. Agency officials say it's the only one seized in Illinois. To get to the point where the FDA needs to use the assistance of the U.S. Marshal's Office to go in and seize a laser, an unapproved laser from a doctor, that's serious?
That is serious.
Darlene Bailey is with the FDA.
Any patient that is going to consider eye surgery by a laser, like for instance LASIK, for instance, they really do need to know more about the product.
That's because of the dangers she says unapproved lasers could pose.
There may be a blade in question, or the laser itself may be in question, or the power of that laser may be in question. There may be an equipment that will actually burn the cornea of the eye, so you don't want those kinds of things to happen.
Again, Dr. Caro declined the opportunity to talk on camera, but says he was cleared of any potential wrongdoing by the Illinois Department of Professional Regulation, the state agency which regulates doctors. DPR officials say Dr. Caro has never been disciplined by them. Also in his statement to us, Dr. Caro says upwards of 99% or more of his patients remain extremely satisfied with their eye surgery and its result. We also have received dozens of letters and phone calls from other eye surgeons who say Dr. Caro is a leader in the field. In court papers, Dr. Caro denies any wrongdoing in the Ron Bongiovanni lawsuit. He is scheduled for a deposition in that case in June. Warner and Allison, FDA officials say with laser surgery in general, there simply is no 100% guarantee that it won't be complication-free or perfect.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Tomorrow night at 10, our special